Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Cinnamon Stitches. I am your yarn host Jennifer, and today we are doing a contrast and comparison video. We are going to take two yarns and compare them side by side and determine, are they the same yarn? Is there one of them better than the other? Like, what's the difference, right? So to start off with, we're going to start with the Stylecraft Knit Me Crochet Me yarn. It is a double knitting yarn, DK weight, which usually in the UK, which this is from the UK, it will say on the front, it will say, most of the time it's DK, it says double knitting on the front. Actually I think every yarn I've ever purchased from the UK was double knitting or DK weight. This is 80% premium acrylic and 20% wool. It is 317 yards, okay? This one is the color rainbow. Is it just rainbow? And then this one is the color wheel. Very pretty. Well, when I showed these on the channel, it was a while back. I think I bought them a month or two ago. I showed these now. I've seen these in an ad, I think on Facebook. I was like, oh, those colors are so beautiful. And then one of my cinnamon buns over in the Facebook group posted this from Joann's, and they were like, does this look familiar? As a matter of fact, it does look familiar, but it's bigger. It's really, really similar. Alright, so side-by-side comparison. They're both 80% acrylic and 20% wool. And they both say 80% premium acrylic and 20% wool. The Stylecraft, which is the one I got from lovecrafts.com, is 317 yards. And the one from Joann's is 475 yards. Okay, so let me write notes because I done forgot. I said it out loud and the information left my brain. Where are my ink pens? Where's my paper? Alright, so we have 317 yards for Stylecraft. What did I say? 475 yards for Big Twist Supernova from Joann's. The colors are almost identical, and if you were just like standing back or if you like took a quick glance, you wouldn't be able to tell that the colors are different. But on further inspection, the one from Joann's has blue and a little bit of purple, and this one does not look like it has blue or purple in it. It has like a teal color, but that is not the same. Like this one has teal in it too, but it's not the same as the blue, which is right there. I don't know how much blue is going to be in here. I don't know how much purple is going to be in here. See that? This one just looks like it's yellow, greens, oranges, pinks. That's what it looks like to me. Maybe a little bit of red in there. A little bit of red. Okay. So the colors, a little tiny bit different. Now, I'm also going to tell you, price difference. The Stylecraft is out of stock entirely on Lovecrafts, okay? It is $6.75, so I paid $6.75. $6.75 for 317 yards. And the Joann's one is $9.99 for 415 yards. So, we'll do a little math. I just mathed it out, and they are the exact same price per yard. Okay? If my math is correct, they are both the same price per yard. So, that has never happened to me before. Same price per yard. So, they're the same price. Stylecraft, you're getting a smaller ball. Joann's, you're getting a bigger ball, and Joann's offers coupons. Whereas I bought this on Lovecrafts, and you can sometimes get discounts and sales on Lovecrafts, but I got $5 off, so I actually paid $5 for this instead of $10 for it, so that makes me a little happier. I am also going to tell you, I will put up pictures side by side of what the yarn looks like, because I'm writing it down so I don't forget. I believe that they come in the same colorways as well. So there's a version of this one There's a version of this one, which is Stylecraft in the Joann's colorway. There's a color, this is the Joann's yarn. There's one of these in the Stylecraft. There's one of these and these in the Stylecraft. So I'm fairly confident they are, if not the same yarn, they are so close. I'm not going to know until we go down to the table. Now I'm also going to tell you the Joann's is listed as a 2 fine weight, a fine 2, and this one's listed as a DK. So we're going to also compare side by side. We're going to go to the table and crochet. Let's see, 4mm. They both recommend a 4mm hook, which tells me they're the same size. So I'm going to attempt to find my 4mm hook. What is this? That's 3.5mm. I'm going to pause. I'm going to find my 4mm hook, and we're going to go down to the table and work up a swatch. And when you know it, my 4mm hook was in the other room with a project. I'm going to start with the Stylecraft. I'm not going to work up a huge swatch because you can see that this is kind of what the fabric is going to look like. And there are swatches on Stylecraft's or on Lovecraft's website. Now, as you can see, this is a thick, thin yarn. So it's thicker here, but it's thinner here. And maybe that's why they're saying it's a 2 weight for Joann's, because it's averaging out to, in their mind, of a 2 weight. But this is a roving style yarn. So if it tends to be at all splitty, I'm going to switch hooks because roving style yarns tend to be a little bit finicky. And by roving, I mean that it's not twisted real tight. It's kind of just wound up and it unfolds very easily. And it can be splitty with that type of yarn. Also, I can see that it's a little bit on the hairy side from the wool. So it may be hard to pull apart or to frog out when we're done. So what I'm looking for, because there's wool in it, is this scratchy? Is it irritating my skin? That's the number one thing I look for because I do have skin problems. I have eczema. I get all kinds of sores all the time on my hands. Specifically, this one's not. I mean, that one's a bug bite, but I get them predominantly on my palms of my hands and my fingers. And I do, on occasion, have an allergic reaction to specific yarns that have chemicals in them that cause me to have flare-ups. I also cannot use soap in Disney World because something in the Disney World soap gives me really bad breakouts to where my entire palm will break out into really deep-seated bumps that fill up with pus, and it's really unpleasant. I say that not for attention or not, I just want you to be aware. That's the first thing I look for is this irritating my skin? Is it soft enough that I can play with it for a long period of time? Because a lot of you have said to me that that's important to you too, because you also have eczema or psoriasis or arthritic conditions that cause issues on your skin. Like, there's all kinds of reasons why people have skin problems. And it's why I bring it up, because some people just have a hard time with certain yarns. And quite a few of you have learned to rely on me to be the judge of whether you're able to use a yarn or not. Because if I can't use it, you can't use it. But I also am going to caveat that to say that my hands are also swollen and my sense of touch is slightly down today because I'm slightly swollen. Don't know why. Just kind of what happened. I really wish I would have outer pulled this and put it on my spindle, which is right next to me, which I did not do. Because now I'm tugging and pulling. I'm getting spoiled by that spindle, I'm telling you guys. It just sits here on my desk and I just plop yarn on it and then we go about our business. It made my tutorial for the ghosties so much easier. Alright, I'm really liking this green next to the gray. Now I know that the swatch on the side of the label is not going to be accurate for us crocheters because that is very clearly a knit pattern. But this is going to give you an idea that there are small, very small color breaks. Because we're already back to gray. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 17 and a half double crochets worth of green. Or it will be approximately 35 stitches of single crochet that you will get out of the green. So the colors are short, so keep that in mind. I'm going to do another row of single crochet because I want to see. So far, this doesn't at all, like I can usually tell within the first 3 minutes whether this is going to irritate my skin or not, because right here is very sensitive on me, and this doesn't seem to be irritating me, but I don't have a problem with most wools. If a wool's really scratchy or like a really basic wool, I can't use it. I prefer superwash wool, but this is not at all bothering me. And because this is wool, I am not going to at all throw this in the washer and dryer. This is going to be a hand wash situation, even though the label says you can wash it in the washing machine. Actually, what does the Stylecraft one say? Machine washable, cool, tumble dry. Okay. May dry clean, cool iron. Whereas the Joann's one, all Joann's Big Twist yarn says the same thing. Machine wash, do not tumble dry. So what you can do before you make a big project out of any yarn is make a little swatch and throw it in the washer machine and see what happens. You can do it just as easily as I can do it, but I'm not going to do it because I don't feel like it. So there. Oh, we're already back to the green. I'm going to do another row of. So it goes green, gray, green. I really like the way this yarn feels. It's got a little bit of a woolly feel to it, like the fabric. It's not buttery soft. I would not make a baby garment out of this. I think this would make a beautiful outerwear thing though. I would love to make like a sweater out of this. That'd be great. Dogs are all barking. Some of them are outside, some of them are in the house. Now they're coming in to bark. I apologize for the rudeness. That's Scarlet and Oreo. Somebody outside's making them mad. Alright, so we made it back to the green. That's really pretty. I want you know, sometimes I do these tutorials and I just want to keep working. I just want to keep going with the yarn and make something. It looks like it's in my hand. Let's just keep going. Let's see what happens. I'm doing half double crochets here. And what I'm going to do with the Joann's yarn is I'm going to just attach it right onto this swatch so that I can see side by side all in one project if these can be intermixed together. I like to do that with contrast and comparison videos because I will do the two swatches and then I will close my eyes and just rub across them and see if there is a huge difference between the yarns. Now I did a variety of stitches. I did double crochet, single crochet, and I'm doing half double crochet. And from what I can tell, the definition in the stitches is beautiful. And I'll show you that in just a second. You see how you can really see the stitches and the definition? This is so pretty. I love a good yarn with a good definition to it. Alright, I'm going to attach the other one. I'm going to grab this one. This is an outer pull situation. Excuse me while I grab my spindle thing. I got stuff all over my desk. I've been working my butt off this weekend. We're going to outer pull this one. Just for ease of use. Alright. I'm going to attach it right on here. Boop. I'm going to flip our work over. Crochet over that just to lock it in. Alright, I'm going to start with single crochets. This yarn looks very similar. It feels like the same yarn. I'm going to say that these were probably made by the same manufacturer. Whoever made this yarn made both of them. This is just my prediction. I didn't even look to see where they're both made. I'm guessing they're going to both be made in Turkey. This Turkey is like the yarn capital of the world. Alright, Joann's, where is this made? Made in Turkey. Made for Stylecraft under license in Turkey. I have this conspiracy theory that there's just one guy in Turkey that owns all of the yarn shops. And he's like the yarn boss. I'm doing half double crochets while the dogs bark. I think Mr. Cinnamon is back from getting his COVID test. I'm correct. This is just me and my imagination theory, okay? There's like some yarn boss who's like the mob boss, but he's like the yarn boss, right? And he says what goes and what comes, and he's the guy who's in charge. And he's like, all right, we're gonna release this yarn, but we're gonna sell it to Stylecraft, and we're gonna sell some to Joann's, and then we're gonna take this yarn and we're gonna sell some to Joann's and some to Premier Yarns, and then just some mob boss out there in Turkey. Eating his delicious Turkish treat. I got so invested in crocheting this that I didn't realize that my battery was dying. Silly girl. Your silly stories. I really like this yarn. I am so glad for the person who first posted about this in the Facebook group and everyone else that's told me about it since then. Because this is beautiful. If you can use wool, this is a beautiful yarn. I think I may have to purchase some more. I'm really digging the wools this year. I don't know why. And I know not all of you can use wool. I sympathize with you for that. I think these are the same yarn. They're working up exactly the same. They feel the same in my hand. They got that beautiful stitch definition happening. The color is slightly different. Just ever so slightly. A little bit of fuzz happening there. I'll trim that out. I don't like that. But can you see where the blue stopped, or the Joann started in the... I can't. I can't at all. I want to make so many things. Now see, I said I don't think I can make a hat out of this, but I want to make a hat out of this. It's beautiful. Because I'm seeing a hat with these different stitches. Like, let's do a row single, let's do a row double, let's do a row of half double. Let's change it up every row and change what stitch we're doing. However, I'm going to tell you, like, if you're knitting with this, these are going to be micro stripes. They're going to be just a thin stripe that doesn't really make it all the way around the hat. And if you're crocheting, even though the color goes all the way across my swatch, I didn't know it was going to go all the way across my swatch. You're going to get little blocks of color. So if this was a bigger swatch, you're going to have like one row around a hat will be like partially gray, partially blue, partially gray, partially blue. Or, because I don't know if this repeats the blue. Looks like it's... No, it looks like it's moving towards purple. So it doesn't look like it's going to go green, gray, then green again. Although that's two different shades of green. It's two different shades of green. It doesn't look like it's going to go the same blue. It looks like it's going to go more towards a purple. You see that? You know what? Let's just work it up and we'll see. So they're not identical, but they are a close dupe. So if you live in the United States, and you don't order from Lovecrafts or don't have any intention of ordering from Lovecrafts, you can find a very good dupe at Joann's. Now, if you live in the UK and can't get access to Joann's, I got good news for you. You can order from a good many places that sell Stylecraft, and it's available to you in the UK. And that's good news for everybody, right? Do you see how much easier that yarn pulls? Like, I'm not yanking anything out when it's on the spindle. The doohickey, the holder thing. I don't know what the thing's called. It's like a big bobbin. So I'm going to say the colorway repeats just like the green did. So the green is the Stylecraft, the blue is the Joann's brand. The Supernova from Big Twist. And it looks like it's doing the same thing, just in different colors. You see that? Alright, now I'm going to close my eyes. My eyes are closed. The thickness feels exactly the same across the board. Like, I can't feel... Like, if you're using a yarn that's slightly off from thickness, I can't tell where one yarn stops and the other one starts. Like, the thickness is really about the same. And my eyes are still closed, guys. And I also don't feel a difference with the texture. Like, it feels like it's the same yarn. The colors are beautiful. My eyes are back open. Isn't that beautiful? What would you make out of this? Because my brain is just, the way that stripey's a little bit like that, I can see crocheting and knitting with this. Now, as for the label here, this is a knit swatch. So it looks like it breaks up with the gray several times. So it goes green, gray, green, gray, green, gray, and then blue, gray, blue, gray, blue, gray. And then pink, gray, etc. See, this says there's blue in it. Do you see blue and I'm just missing it? Excuse me. That's not, is that the same color blue? You guys see that? Yes, it's the same color. So the blue is in here. It was just hiding under the label. Because all I could see was this teal color popping out. Disassemble the whole thing. Alright, so I'm going to say it's the same yarn. Now that I see that there is in fact blue, it's just, this is a bigger cake. It's a bigger cake, so maybe that's why you see the blue more prominently. Because, yeah, it's the same yarn, guys. That's good news for all of us. Now, here's the bad news. Does it frog? Let's see if it frogs. Yeah, and as predicted. It's got that hairy bit on it. I knew it was going to give me a hard time frogging. So you're going to want to, if you're working with this yarn, you're going to want, oh, it's not too bad. You're going to want to do something you know you're, like, don't use yarn that can't frog real well with a project that you're not, like, a new, let me slow my brain down. If you're going to work on a new project and you've never done the pattern before, don't do a yarn that has wool or that doesn't frog real well. I don't care how beautiful it is. You do this, you use this yarn with something you know you're not going to need to frog a lot. Something that if you make a small mistake, it's not going to make a difference and you can just bypass it. Because you're going to fight this when you frog it. I predicted it. I saw it coming. It's not horrible, but you really got to be careful when you frog this. Because it wants to stick to itself. As you can tell. I'm just trying to get enough off so I can wrap it back around that cake and save it. I am not one of those people that cuts my samples off. I try to save them and I put them back on as much as I can. I hate wasting yarn. As you can tell though, it definitely does not like to be frogged. And I know that's important to some of you. As for me, I don't generally frog unless I've made a huge mistake. I just go with it and call it a design. And then this one, we're not going to frog at all. We're just going to... Actually, yeah, I kind of have to. Hang on. Let me rewrap this. And then we'll frog the other one because I need to make sure they both frog the same. I was going to take the easy way out and just say they're both the same yarn. No, we're going to frog them both. And the fact that they're the same price per yard is crazy to me. Yeah, it's frogging exactly the same. Lucas, leave Benny alone. Yeah, they frog about the same. I'm telling you, it's the same yarn. It's the same yarn. So, this is the good news for those of you who are overseas that always complain, like, I can't get that, I'm in the UK. Well, Stylecraft, same yarn, same price per yard. Ta-da! We did it! We figured it out. Sometimes you gotta cut those little hairs because they get all tangled up. It's advice for you, those of you that don't work with wool very often. If you have a wool that does this, where it hangs up on itself, don't keep pulling real tight. And the chain row is always the worst. I always have to cut the chain row. Have scissors close by because usually it's just one little string that's holding it on. And I would just pull it apart to find the string that's attached. And cut it. Yeah, that didn't work. Yes, it did. Alright. Alright. Got it all the way down. And because I center pulled this, I have to make a little ball and stick it in the center of the ball. This is the way I do when I center pull. And now, like, I'm an outer pull girl. I'm telling you, I've been outer pulling everything. It's just easier. Especially when I do this swatch, I just wrap it around the outside and I put the label back on. Call it a day. Or otherwise, if I center pull, I have to make this little tiny miniature cake around my finger. And then plop it in the center. Leave the tail out. Which isn't horrible, but yeah, you guys. I'm so excited I found a dupe in the United States and I can literally go to the store and buy it. Because I fell in love with this and I was like, the shipping coming from overseas, I know that these were $6.75 each. Is that what I said? Yeah, $6.75 on Stylecraft. Not Stylecraft. On Love Crafts. They were $6.75 each. And they were shipped to me from the UK. And the shipping cost was like double the price. So I ended up paying like $20 some for 2 cakes. And I loved them and I wanted them and they were worth the money. But if I can go to Joann's and use my coupons and get the same, I'm telling you, it's the same yarn. And not only that, Stylecraft, when I checked the website, was out of, or not, why do I keep saying Stylecraft? When I checked Lovecraft's website, they were out of all of the colors, okay? And even when I bought this one, they only had like 3 colors in stock. And what I really wanted was this one in the Stylecraft to go with this one. And they didn't have it, and I have not seen it in stock since then. So, not only does Joann's have the dupe, but they have all of the colors. Now, if you can't find it in your Joann's app, search for it on Joann's.com because Joann's.com is different than the app, and the website is far more accurate, I have found, than the application. The app on the phone sucks, and I'm really angry that Joann sucks so bad, but is that not beautiful? Look at these colors, you guys. Tell me you're not in love with these colors. So happy, and I fully I fully predict I'm going to buy more of this. Because I have no doubt this is going to be a limited time thing. This is going to be like a fall only thing. And, oh, these colors are amazing. It feels good. The stitch definition is amazing. The price isn't horrible, especially if you use your coupons. So I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. It's not the softest yarn that I have ever used because you can feel that there's a little bit of stiffness from the wool. but the stitch definition makes up for it. The colors make up for it. But 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. No doubt about it. 8 out of 10. I'm even kind of pushing 9 out of 10 because of this one. Oh, I have so many ideas of things I want to work up with this. I'm thinking cardigan would be beautiful. Scarf and hat set, mittens or gloves would be fantastic with this. And I have ideas for both knit and crochet buzzing through my head right now. I wouldn't make baby items because I don't do wool for babies, because you just don't know if a baby's going to have a reaction or not. And babies outgrow things so fast anyway. Like, just make it out of acrylic, it'll be fine. But yeah, everything else I can see making with this, as long as you can use wool. And it's mostly acrylic, but oh, so happy. I'm so happy I found it. So happy. Alright, give me your guys' opinions. What color do you like the best? Do you like the gray rainbow, the black rainbow, the fake Americana with the pink that looks white on my camera, or the Halloween color? I did give you all the color names in the last video. I don't think I gave them in this video. So the Joann's version of Supernova and the Gray Rainbow, or the Grainbow, is called Rainbow Meteorite. But the one in Stylecraft is called just Rainbow. And then the white version at Joann's, I don't have pulled up, is identical to this one. But on Stylecraft, it's called Color Wheel. Again, I will, hopefully I remember I wrote it down, to put pictures side by side of the Stylecraft versus the Joann's. This colorway is Starburst. This colorway is Nebula. This one's probably my favorite. And that will change tomorrow. And this one is Purple Cosmos. So, with that, I will let you go. Thank you so much for watching this video with me. And we're just going to move the yarn around while I talk so that it looks like we're still doing something on camera. Thank you so much for joining me for this contrast and comparison. Have you seen this in your local Joann store? I would like to know that, and where you're located, because, well, you don't have to give the specifics, but a lot of people are like, I don't know if my Joann's has it, and then they check the comments to see if other people in Texas, example, have found it, or other people in New Hampshire or Idaho or California or wherever. Like I said, this was not available according to the, I couldn't even find it on the app on my phone. Mr. Cinnamon found this yarn and saw that it was available in my store by using the website, not the app. So Joann's needs to fix their app desperately. But I'm so happy. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.